Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Boulton, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at a brand spanking new kit here by Airfix, which is the Boulton Pole Defiant Mark 1, and it is in 1/48 scale, and it is also a brand spanking new tool as well. So it really has been something that I have been really waiting for, to be honest with you. It's sort of been in my wish list for ages and just waiting for it to come out. I mean, although in World War II it wasn't a very effective aircraft, apparently in the first engagements with this aircraft it did sort of put the Luftwaffe off balance a bit by having this turreted, as you can see here, it's got like a dorsal mounted turret, which put them sort of off balance, as I say. But the Luftwaffe did learn quite quickly that all you have to do really to sort of take on the Defiant was to just head straight on, nose to nose, and it became very sort of ineffective, which is why it then went on to doing night missions. But still, I quite like the look of it anyway, and I have been waiting for this now. Let's open this up and take a quick look inside. We'll have a look at the instructions later. The decals for this kit are really good. As you can see, we've got sort of like a nice sort of matte-ish type finish. All the colours are in registry, very sort of nice vibrant colours. We do have an instrument display panel here that you can use the decals for that if you so wish. Now it doesn't say anything about cartograph decals on here, which are like the best ones in the world. But when it comes to Airfix, they seem to don't have that that brand put on the actual decals themselves. But what they do, so that you know whether you're going to get the best cartograph decals, is it's actually on the box itself where it has cartograph. You know, so we know that these decals are the best in the world, and we haven't got to worry about them. Let's put that out the way. Next up is the canopies. Now, when it comes to Airfix and canopies, they can be a little bit problematic from Airfix, but don't worry, with this brand spanking new tool, these canopies are looking nice and crystal clear. I'm not seeing any sort of cobweb effects or anything like that, or any sort of warping or anything. They're just nice and clear, crystal clear canopies. Hopefully, as you can see, they're looking really smart. So yeah, top marks there for decals and canopy there. Then we move to our first sprue. Now there's about 4 sprues in here. Nice grey plastic, not too thick, you know, not bad, pretty standard. Now if we look at some surface detail here, we can sort of see a bit of surface detail here. We've got some really well crisp, well neat recessed panel lines, and we just look at our wings here as well. You know, as you can see, surface detail, the plastic feels very smooth. We haven't got to worry about any rough surfaces. The only problem is with this is maybe the recessed panel lines there are sort of maybe a little bit too big, maybe a little bit out of scale, which is kind of typical for Airfix. And not only that, there is no detail work with any sort of rivets or anything like that, which is also again pretty typical from Airfix. Our wheel well here, you know, we've got a little bit of sort of wire detail and hoses detail, just a little bit there, but other than that it's sort of a bit on the plain side, but looking good anyway. Next sprue we have here is a few bits and bobs, sort of all sorts of bits of cockpit detail, bit of nose cone. We've got some where the turret is, some bits of detail just inside there. We've got our MGs here, which I feel like they could be a little bit better detailed, but still they are not too bad. We've got our seat here as well, which does have like a bit of fabric detail on there. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but you know, it's a little bit better than just being plain. In fact, I do feel like it's got a bit more detail than typically Airfix does sometimes with their seats. We've got some air vents, intakes sort of going on there with a nice bit of sort of mesh detail on there. And moving along, you know, looking, you know, pretty damn good actually. Apart from, say, the surface detail, which is a bit bland, we've got our instrument display panel here, which is looking very crisp, very detailed, with recessed and raised detail going on in there. So you know, that is looking rather good. I do believe we have about 2 types of propellers, do we? I think I noticed there was another one. No, maybe not. So we've got 1 propeller there, 3 propellers. We've got some internal detail just in here, which is like the sides of our cockpit area, which, you know, looking rather good detail. We stick that to the sides, to the fuselage section. However, you might also notice that we've got a nasty ejector pin mark right there, smack bang in the middle of a bit of detail. We've got another one there as well, which we're probably going to want to take care of. Yeah, you can take care of it. It's manageable, I guess. And then again, we've got some more bits of detail going on there, a bit of landing gear here as well. Flash on this kit is very minimal as well, which is rather good. Well, I mean, let's face it, it's a brand new tool, it shouldn't have any flash going on with it. Now we come to our last sprue here, which is of our fuselage section and our sort of tail section a bit. If we sort of move in on this again, the surface detail, you know, we've got that sort of a little bit out of scale, a bit too big sort of recessed panel lines, a little bit of rivet detail just here, hopefully as you can see there, but that is basically it. We've got some raised bolt detail just on the engine cowl. You know, that is looking rather good, but again, the lack of rivets on this kit does sort of leave the surface detail rather lacking. It is probably something that you might want to scratch build into and make your own rivets to get that sorted. Got some more detail out at the back here with the tail section. We've got some bit more detail actually on the surface of that bit, but yeah, not too bad. Ejector pin marks, I have noticed maybe 1 or 2 places you got ejector pin marks where you don't want them, but in all honesty, there isn't that many ejector pin marks in places where you don't want them. There's only sort of like 1 or 2 places. A bit of internal detail here on the fuselage section, and that is all of the pieces. A very quick run through the instructions now, if we just bring you in on the top cam. Right, again, we've got the usual little bit of a description about the aircraft itself. We have this new sort of layout with Airfix where we've got a little bit of colour, that little bit of red, which shows you where what pieces go, which does help you get those pieces where they should be going. And moving along, it is a typical World War II construction. You know, fuselage halves come together, wings come together, and then the fuselage and the wings come together, and you're basically done. Moving along, we've got our ailerons. They you can have them moving, elevators, rudders, you know, flaps. You can have all these things sort of in sort of all sorts of different moving up and down positions, which is rather good. Landing gear up or down, which is pretty standard. You do have a lot of sort of configurations going on with in regards to the actual canopy and the actual turret. You can have like canopies open, turrets open, you know, there's lots of different configurations there for having that in those different positions. But other than that, that is basically it. And then when it comes to our actual markings, we have 2 sets of markings here, which we have, we've got number 264 Squadron. We've got that nice standard Battle of Britain type camo pattern going on there, and then we've got another one just below, which is again basically exactly the same sort of camo pattern. I was sort of maybe hoping they'd do a night fighter version, but there we go. We've got a nice standard set of markings there. Now this kit costs about £18.99 RRP, which is rather cheap for what is a brand spanking new tool, good looking kit. best decals in the world that you can get. The canopies are looking fantastic. You can't really grumble. The only thing that I'm grumbling about this kit is the surface detail. It is I think is extremely lacking in a bit of extra surface detail. So it is a kit that you're going to want to go off and add that extra bit of surface detail. Apart from that, absolutely loving it, and I really want to get one of these built at some point. So you might see with this in a future step-by-step in the future. But until next time, hopefully this inbox review has been beneficial to you. So until next time, this is Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Boulton, and I hope you've enjoyed.